snow leopard habitat research in the Russian Altai, which has been going on for 9 years. But before reaching the topic, I would just like to say a few words about how the expedition and research is funded. Because nowadays it's quite difficult to find money for research, especially if it's connected with nature conservation. So I want to say a few words. Page up. Page up. Page down. Page down. I just pressed. Yeah. So what I would like to say just a few words about an option to fund your research. And one of the means is an organization which is called BIOSPHERE Expeditions, which is an international non-profit wildlife volunteer organization founded in 1999, and that runs conservation expeditions for environmental volunteers all across the globe. That's the logo of BIOSPHERE Expeditions. So the organization itself is intended for all people who want to help support and conserve the biosphere, and gives people a way to satisfy their enthusiasm and come to work on a nature conservation project. So here's a picture of two teams, one nearby the base camp, another one on the top of the summit. So who are these people? So these people are just ordinary people, like anybody outside, of any professional background or age, but very strongly fond and in love with nature. That's one part of the group. Then there's quite a lot of people which are bird watchers. So they like to be outside, they want to see more birds, and they come to the Altai to see something special. And then there's a portion of people which are adventurous, like an adventure, so they're seeking a lifetime adventure, and they want to climb a mountain, do off-road driving, spend the time in the wilderness. So anyone may join such an expedition. So BIOSPHERE Expedition receives funding from the contributions made by the volunteers which join the expedition. So volunteers, instead of spending their money somewhere on the Bahamas or Canary Islands, they spend the money for nature conservation. And they will then consist the team which will be doing the research. And also, BIOSPHERE Expedition receives grants from corporate partners, which companies which want to look green. So they support nature conservation and nature conservation research. For instance, Globetrotter provides tents and other equipment and booths. Garmin provides the GPSs. Swarovski provides the binoculars and telescopes. And the biggest contribution is made by Land Rover, which each year provides us for free with four-wheel drive cars. That's very important because we have to cover thousands of kilometers, and to get to the research site, of course, we need vehicles. So anybody can just open the home page of BIOSPHERE, click here, 2-week expedition, one week expedition, join the expedition, pay the money, and have fun for 2 weeks. So, since 1999, the organization has expanded, and now it runs expeditions all around the world. And one of the first one was Namibia, where cheetahs are the core species, jaguars in Brazil, whales in the Azores. So everywhere, a flagship species is chosen. Well, that's done also for purposes of attracting people to the expedition. Because if you say, we'll be studying some kind of beetle or some kind of maybe lizard, it doesn't sound so exciting. But if you say you will be studying a wolf or a bear or a snow leopard, everybody becomes excited, although they know from the very beginning that they hardly would see the animal. But it makes sense for them to come and join the expedition. So there are lots of expeditions around, and there's the one, the Altai expedition, where I have been involved for 9 years. So, for this expedition, the flagship species which is chosen is the snow leopard, but maybe the researchers know not so much about the snow leopard itself as the habitat, both the physical habitat and the biota, which is studied by the research team, which look and try to see a large picture of the environment. But nevertheless, a focus is made on the snow leopard. So the snow leopard is a flagship species for the biodiversity and nature conservation in the mountains of the mountain areas of Central Asia. And it's an endangered species in the IUCN Red List, and is considered to face a very high risk of extinction in the wild. So it covers a very large range, can be found in 12 countries, including Russia. Russia covers around 4% of the home range. So this is a model of the altitudes. There you see at the top the Altai in the general picture, but the snow leopards live usually at altitudes between 1,500 to 5,600 meters above sea level. So this digital model just cuts out those altitudes where the snow leopard perhaps would be met. But of course we understand that the home range is more mosaic than a full picture like this one. So the total population is around 4,500 to 7,500 animals, the largest one being in China, and the population estimate for Russia is about 120. That's not only the Altai, but also Sayan Mountains. For southeast Altai, it's around 40 snow leopards, but that's an estimate which was made, say, 30, 40 years ago. And my impression is that the numbers have gone down, so perhaps there are even less animals around than there were previously. So, since they are top predators living in a harsh environment with prey animals being scarce, well, they never reach a very high population density. So, usually it's around one animal per 100 square kilometers. So, you see that's quite a rare species, and it can be very difficult, unfortunately, to meet it. So, snow leopards all around their home range can be affected by a number of factors, and that's first of all the rapid increase of human population, so there's a habitat loss. Then there's also a loss of habitat due to livestock moving in, more sheep, more cows coming in and getting to higher altitudes. And it's not only livestock, but it's also herders, which are hunters, and herders also have big dogs, which can chase away a snow leopard. And also there's a reduction of the population of ungulated prey. So usually that's done by hunters, which hunt down the ibex, argali, that's the mountain sheep, other animals, shoot them for meat. and a heavy hunting pressure on the cat itself, because there's a demand for pelt, you know, the fur, and also after the opening of the border with China, there's a big trade going on for bones, because Chinese use the bones of snow leopard for medicine. Usually that's done with tiger bones, but tigers are becoming scarce, so instead of tigers, they're switching on to snow leopards. So the aims and objectives of the expedition is to estimate snow leopard activity in southeastern Russian Altai through field science by tracking and observation. It's also the aim is to assess the status and distribution of prey species, particularly like argali, that's the mountain sheep, and Siberian ibex. And where possible, survey other animals like marmots, because marmots are considered not primary prey, but secondary prey. And birds, other small animals which can indicate the quality of the habitat. So here we have the study area. So here you have in yellow, these are the borders between countries. So here you have Russia, Kazakhstan, China, and Mongolia. And the base camp is located around nearby the Mongol border, Mongol-Russian border here. And the yellow pins are showing places where we have reached and camped for some time to make a survey. So this is how the base camp looks. We hire a Russian tourist company which sets up the tents, sets up the kitchen here, the mess tent where we all gather together. Here's our garage, and this has been a snowy day, you see. And also there are these are overnight camps which are done to reach a more distant area to survey. So the methods are quite simple. It's observation and also attempts to install camera traps. So to get a picture like that, how do you click on that picture? You click on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No.
I don't know, maybe it doesn't.
Well, you just have to just click it as if you had a mouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm clicking it, but...
Okay.
If it's not your equipment...
Okay, it doesn't matter.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter, yeah. So you can get pictures like those of the animal due to camera tracking, and also, but most of the results are tracks and sign of animal. So these can be tracks themselves, tracks of argali, bear tracks, bear droppings, wolf droppings, pika tables, pika cuts, vegetation and dries it for the winter time. Yeah. So then you have snow leopard tracks over the snow, ibex droppings, and you make records of this. It's the same as seeing the animal, recording the animal. So it's also important to recognize all this stuff. So the expedition is equipped with some books which help the team members to identify animal tracks and signs, identify birds, and all this is put into a so-called snow leopard information management system. When you work with people, ordinary people, and I would say my just experience in monitoring shows that it's very important to have a monitoring system, a recording system, which is very, very simple.